Right, first come up to the machine, if we turn the main isolator on, it's now telling me to reset it using the blue button. Now I'm ready to load the film. Grab my film, place it onto the spindle, and with film, obviously we've got the inside and the outside. If I put these two insides together, you see we've got some tack. So this is what they call inside cling. If I check on the outside, we haven't got any tack. Now we want to thread it through the rollers. So what I'm going to do, pull myself a tail off. There is some lugs cut out of the machine here with arrows to direct us. But it's nice and simple. We go round the first silver roller. We've now got some cones at the top here. We go round the back, round here. Then we've got a final roller around the front, and we'll pull the film there. Now I need to pull it through, but to pull it through, I have to hold the button in and pull. If I try and pull it without the button held in, nothing happens. If I hold the button in, I need to pull it. And now you'll see that the reel of film there, every 1 metre of film that side becomes 3.5 metres this side. Okay, we'll go back to the main panel now. Okay, while we're on this button, you'll see we've got a green outline around the carriage return. Okay, we're going to do everything with this grey jog button. So I'm going to go round the carriage return. Okay, just hold it in. It's going to take the carriage back down to the base where it's the starting point. Let that go back down. Okay, on here we've got book 1. Okay, if I tap that, we've got program 1, which is a book, program 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, we've also got manual. And if we go past manual, we've got eco. We're not going to worry too much about eco for now. We'll talk about manual a bit later, but we'll go back to the programs. So if we start off with program 1, you can pre-program these to whatever you want with the combination of the next settings. Okay. I've highlighted this first box round here. That's carriage wrapping up and down. Okay, so it's going to do however many bottom wraps we want, up to the top, wrap around the top and back down. If I tap it and turn it to the right, the next program is just got an up only wrap. So again, however many bottom wraps, wrap up to the top, round the top and stop. Then you would need to return the carriage back down to the base, or if the pallet was the same height, you could then press start and it would wrap back down again. Okay. Next one is, you'll see there's a cover over the top of the pallet. What that means is top sheet applicator. So it would wrap up to the top, stop at the top, allow you to put a top sheet on, you press start again and it'll wrap back down. That's for a waterproof top sheet. Okay. Majority of the time it's an up and down wrap, but we'll leave it on up and down for this. We're going to go to the next setting, which is your rotation speed. You see you've got a ring going around. Okay. We're highlighted at the top 12. 12 means 12 RPM. If I tap it, I can actually go slower. 9 RPM, 6.5. So once you're happy with your setting, we'll leave it on 12, tap it, we've gone back and now that's set in. Next one, you'll see a picture of a roll of film and there's a number next to it and it's 3, and that means 3 meters a minute. So I'm going to change that. We're going to wrap, so I might turn it down to say 2.5. So that's 2.5 meters a minute. The higher the number, the faster it goes. So at the moment, we're going to wrap up and down at 2.5 meters a minute. If you wanted to split that, to have a different speed up and a different speed back down, hold the button in for 3 seconds. Now you see we've split that number. So we can have a different speed up and a different speed back down. So on this, we could actually come down faster than what we're going up. So you can differentiate the two. So that's your carriage speeds. Your next one is your film overlap. You see you've got a picture of an eye. So the photo eye is in the film carriage. Okay, so when that sees the top of the pallet, it's going to give me 35 centimeters over the top. And the reason that is because when you see the machine, the eye is on top of the 30 odd centimeters above the roll of film. So you need it round about the 30, 35 to wrap to the top. If you want to go a bit higher, you can. You can increase it to 40 centimeters or however far over the top you'd like to get the carriage. Also on this one, you'll notice there, after I tap it, you've again got another picture there, and it's 0 centimeters at the moment, and it's a picture of the bottom of the pallet. What that means is starting height from the bottom of the pallet. So at the moment, we're on 0 centimeters. So if I wanted to ignore the bottom of the pallet, I might say, right, I'm going to go now and start at, say, 15 centimeters. And now that would have missed the bottom of the pallet and carry on wrapping as normal. What that would be good for is if you were wrapping trolleys and you didn't want to tie the wheels in. So I'm just going to tap that. So that's at 15. I'm going to go back to 0 because we want it to wrap the bottom of the pallet to give us some stability. Now we're highlighted the box again in green. I'm going to hold that in. What I've done now, I've turned the photo eye off. If I tap it, you'll see it says 150 centimeters and there's a picture of the height and the load. That means now we've turned the eye off and we're going to wrap to 1 meter 50. Or I could turn it down to 1 meter 30, 1 meter 25, tap it. Okay, we want to start 0 around the base. So now we're going to wrap to 1 meter 25. This is like an altimeter, so it's just switched your eye off. Okay, I'm going to just hold that in again. You can see now we've got a picture of the eye, we've gone back to photo eye. Next button round, we've got a picture of a hand. I can manually raise the carriage up, I can manually turn the turntable round, or I can manually lower the carriage. Okay, or if the bottom left hand one, what that will do, if I tap that, it will reset the carriage and the turntable. So if, for instance, your film breaks halfway through a wrap and you want to change the reel, you just go to the hand button, top right hand corner, bottom left hand button will reset both of them. Just let it come around to a finish. I'm just going to go to my home page again now, picture of the house. So we're at the hand. Now next one, this is very important, this is your tension. So this is how tight your pallet is going to get wrapped. At the moment, we're on 30. Okay, I can go down to 0. If you were doing things like boxes of crisps, things like that, you'd probably have it on about 5. If you were doing aggregate or heavy loads, you might go up to 50, 60. The tighter you go, obviously the tighter the product's going to be wrapped. The downside, you could potentially snap your film. If that does happen, you need to sort of change your grade to film. Okay, so we've got a tension now of 55. But what we can also do now, let's just go to that. I'm going to hold that in. What you can see now, let's go back to that. You've got 4 different settings. What we can do, the first one, you've got a picture of your reel around the bottom of the pallet. We've got a tension of 55 around the base. So we can have a different tension around the bottom, different tension going up, a different tension on the top, and a different tension back down. So bottom of the pallet at the moment, we might say, right, because the load's sitting in board and the film's splitting, we could drop that to say a tension of 15 around the base. Okay, tension going up, again, we might go up at approximately 20. And again, this is going to be trial and error with yourselves and your film. Tension going up at 20. Now we've got tension at the top. We could say, for instance, okay, let's leave that at 20 again. Okay, but tension coming back down, because we've got a layer of film on it, we could crank it up quite a lot and then come down at a tension of 40. And that's where it'd be quite beneficial adjusting your carriage speed up and down, because you might come down slower at a higher tension to give you a good tight wrap. Okay, so they're your tensions, but again, it's going to be playing around with them. Next one, you've got 3 dots. What we can do, we've got 2 sheets of paper, and that means copy. So what I can do is copy that program. So at the moment, we played around with program 1. I want to copy all those settings to program 3. Press the copy, okay, come out of that, okay, and we can go to the home page, and if we look at program 3 now, all them settings that I've done in program 1 should be the same. But we'll go back to program 1. Okay, so let's just come out of that again. Okay, go back to the 3 dots. What we've also got here is, you'll see there's a picture of a reel of film at a certain height. If I tap that, that's at 0. That means now, every time the film carriage comes back to its home position, it will be at 0 centimeters from the floor. If I increase that to say 50, it would stop at 50 centimeters. Okay, majority of people in the UK have that at 0 because you want it to stop around the bottom to allow you to type the next one. So I'm just going to my home page again. Okay, I'll just ignore that one for now, the first one. I'm going to come back to that. Right, we've got bottom and top wraps. So this is wraps around the bottom before it starts going up. So at the moment it's on 2. I'm going to turn that to say 3. So we're going to do 3 around the bottom. It will then go up to the top. It's now going to do 2 at the top. I can increase that to 3. So at the moment we've got 3 bottom, 3 top. Let's just go back to where we were. This is what they call banding. Okay, so reinforcement wrap, banding. We're going to put however many wraps I set in. At the moment it's on 0. I'm going to say, right, I want 2 wraps. And that's going to do 2 wraps at 104 centimetres. Or, for instance, we might drop it to 50 centimetres. So now I'll do 2 wraps at 50 centimetres. What is quite beneficial on this, I'm going to do 2 wraps. I'm now going to drop it to 15. Standard pallet is 15 centimetres. So it would now do two wraps just as it gets above the top of the pallet. So there's that option as well. And that's how you play around with your settings. We can then do exactly the same on program 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. I'm just going to go back to the cog. Cog 1 is quite good because you can see how many pallets you've wrapped. You can play with your sound, so it's obviously you start and stop, and you get a beeper, can turn it on or off. But what we also can do, we've got a picture of a padlock here. If I tap the padlock, you can put a 4-digit code in. I won't go through the code now because it's in the manual, and then you can choose your own code and decide what you want to put in there. So I'm just going to come out of that for now. Okay, and we'll go back to the home page and then we're ready to go. What we'll do now, we're just going to go to past program 6 to manual. I touch the manual. Okay, we can set everything up in manual mode. So at the moment, we're running at 10 RPM in manual. I'll turn it up to 12, which is maximum. Carriage speed, 3.4 meters a minute. Again, we'll just drop that to 3. Okay, and tension at the moment in manual is 50. I'll drop that to say 30. Okay, in fact, I'll go a little bit lower. 20, tension of 20. Okay. And what I can do now, if I start it in manual mode, I'm just going to attach the film to the pallet. Touch it on there. We're in manual mode, so if I start it up in manual mode, it goes series of beeps. Okay, and that's going to keep wrapping in that one area. Now it's waiting for me to tell it to go up and down. Have a look, if I highlight one of these boxes, highlight the up button, it's going to carry on going up until I touch it again to stop. Carry on wrapping. I could say, well, return it to the tension, increase the tension while it's going. We'll go back to manual, I'll let it go up a little bit. We're now at the top. Might want to do a couple of wraps at the top. Just going to turn it to the down arrow. Tap there. Okay. Touch up there. We've just got the revolution there, and it's going to do the revolution at the bottom, and then stop. So that's how you run it manually. Okay. Because I stopped it where it was, I'm just going to bring it down manually into its home position at the bottom there. I'll touch hand again, not the manual hand, the hand for manual wrapping. And we'll just go back to program 1, which is the first one that we set up. Okay. So all I'll do now, we've got obviously 35 overlap, carriage speed 3 meters a minute. We leave the tensions 30, 30. Okay, so I can just press the start button now. Which is the green and white button. We've got a stop button there, and we've got an emergency stop. So let it run for a cycle. Showing us there that the tension's on again. We can increase or decrease while it's running. And then we'll carry on. It's going to do 2 wraps now, just above the pallet. What I'm going to do now, I'm going to simulate a film break. So So if the film snaps, if you have a look, we've got error 60. That's telling us that the actual film has snapped. I would physically need to reset it. You can attach the film and press start. But for this, what I'm going to do is just take it to hand again, to top right. I'll turn it to your bottom left hand one, which is a turntable, and film carried reset. The last part of this that I'll go through is, you'll see you've got a key here and key setting here. All that is going to be for, just when it finishes, that's my home. If something gets caught underneath the yellow plate there, you get on your hands and knees and clear it out. If it's in a pit frame, you'd probably need to put the key in because you wouldn't be able to get your hand underneath it. Put it in there, just press the start and turn the key to the right. It takes the carriage up and then you'll clear the debris which is underneath. Reset it again and just take the carriage back down to its starting point again. Even if you e-stop it, reset the e-stop and blue button again.